Okay everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another video for you guys from Swagkage. This one called the top 5 Naruto fights. Now this is a bit of a shorter video to make it more digestible for you guys. It's better than the 20-minute, 30-minute videos that I usually react to, so this one should just be some fun. Go ahead.
I don't really know what to do as an intro for this one because it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm talking about my 5 favorite Naruto fights. So before I proceed,
Actually, you know what? Before we get to the actual video, a bit of a fun exercise for you guys, a fun assignment. Let me know in the comments what your top 5 fights in Naruto are, okay? Just let me know about them in the comments.
I have 2 rules. First rule, only 1 fight per character involved. So I'm only picking each character's best fight that they participated in. And this is to keep the list from being dominated by Naruto and Sasuke battles. Second rule, not counting Naruto versus Sasuke, because that was a really good fight. Everybody loves that fight. It's a really...
Sorry. Also, I want to be able to include some of the individual fight these two participated in, and I can do that if I count their final battle here. I mean, okay, I understand that, but personally, I wouldn't include this in the fight either, because I like the fight, although personally, I don't think it's one of the best fights that are out there.
The obvious choice. So, alright, rules are out of the way. Let's get on with the list.
Konan versus Obito,
What
okay.
an insane fight this is. It's very short, so there's not a whole lot to it. But this fight is so fucking awesome! It starts off very standard, but it eventually evolves into something pretty unique because seeing Konan's paper ninjutsu interact with Obito's ability to pass through objects makes for a really dynamic and unique fight. And just a whole bunch of cool stuff starts happening. She sends a bunch of paper towards Obito and he tries to use Kamui to suck it away, but then there's paper bombs in it and it goes like... and it blows away half of his body, and he's just like, oh, I underestimated you. And she's just like, I'm not done yet. And then Konan opens up the ocean, and it's all paper bombs, and Obito looks down, and it's like, and he like falls down, and everything starts blowing up, and Conan's like, yeah, it's gonna blow up for 10 consecutive minutes, you're done. And she's all like, oh yeah, finally. And then Obito's behind her. Then he reveals that under his mask was a second Sharingan that he used for Izanagi, and it was so cool!
Oh yeah, Gaara versus Rock Lee. I mean, I feel like this is probably on a lot of people's list.
Explain why I put Gaara versus Rock Lee on this list. If you are a fan of Naruto and you have seen this fight, Gaara versus Rock Lee is one of your favorites. There's so much speed, the hits are brutal and deliberate, and watching the seemingly invincible Gaara slowly come to terms with the fact that he's being overwhelmed is really cool. Not to mention, this fight is where we get introduced to one of the coolest aspects of the entire series, the 8 gates, and the concept is introduced magnificently in this fight. Overall, great scores here. I love this fight, and so should you.
I think everyone does. Madara versus the... Oh yeah, well,
I guess
obviously.
I'm technically cheating with this entry because Naruto and Sasuke are both in later entries on the list.
I don't know why I mentioned Sasuke since he has nothing to do with this.
And Gaara's included, and he was in the fight with Lee, but I think I can count this as an exception considering the fact that Madara is taking on a whole lot more than just them. Anyway, not only is this one of the best fights in the series, but it's also one of the best character introductions in the series. Madara had been built up endlessly before this fight happened. His statue was in the Valley of the End when Naruto fought Sasuke. Kurama mentioned him when Naruto and Sasuke fought again in Orochimaru's hideout. And Obito assumed Madara's name for a good portion of the series up to this point. So when I saw the real Madara summoned through Edo Tensei, my jaw hit the floor because I had no idea what this guy was actually capable of. And when he started fighting, I mean, there just really aren't any words for it. He kills like 12,000 people with taijutsu alone. And then there's this one part where this guy throws a kunai at him with an explosive tag.
Oh yeah, that was... Yeah.
Then he busts
that
out
was
the
a cool
biggest
moment,
fire
I'm not gonna lie.
jutsu in the entire series.
Which,
then he pulls out Susanoo, then he pulls
I still don't understand why we never see other Uchiha members use this. I mean, it looks like such a powerful jutsu.
the Rinnegan.
This guy has a
Hey,
trick hat,
lightning.
and this trick hat is labeled epic shit. And he keeps on pulling out epic shit from his
this
hat.
is old
That's
King
the
of
way it
Lightning.
is.
I mean, everything
way,
about
way
the fight
back.
is perfect. The music is used
What do you
incredibly
mean,
well.
way
Madara
back?
doesn't speak too much or too little. The characters' reactions are on point. But above all, Madara is just a complete goon. The only thing that keeps this fight from being higher up on the list is the lack of any emotional tension. Anybody watching this fight kind of forgets about the stakes entirely because of the fact that Madara is so cool that you begin to not care about how many...
Hold on. How many of you caught this when you first saw it? Let me see if I can find it.
Entirely because of the fact that
Wait.
Matara is
Wait.
cool.
Here, look, there was an animation error. he had the Rinnegan before he activated the Rinnegan. I noticed this a while back. It's very
That
interesting.
you begin to not care about how many people are dying. Seriously, Matara is actually too raw.
And then it goes back to having them on EMS. Sasuke versus Hitachi.
I had a lot of Sasuke fights to pick from for this entry, but the two it came down to were Sasuke versus Danzo and Sasuke versus Itachi. Now, obviously, I don't have to tell you which one I picked, since you already know that, but many of you may be wondering why I chose Sasuke versus Itachi over all of Sasuke's other fights. The main reason for that is build-up. Now, as I mentioned in the last entry, Matara had a lot of character build-up, but that doesn't even compare to the amount of build-up that this fight received. We've known about Sasuke's hatred for his older brother essentially since we met the kid, so this conflict had been building up essentially for the entire series up to this point. And after hundreds of episodes and hundreds of chapters, it finally happens, and the audience feels this massive amount of payoff. As somebody who started watching Naruto when it first started airing on Toonami over here in the States, I had been waiting for this fight for years, and I'm glad to be able to say that it lives up to all of the hype that the series gave it. It's kinetic, it's quick, it's emotional, it's tense, it's epic, the characters are creative, the music is well placed, the dialogue is well written, and, not to mention, this fight is where two of the coolest techniques in the entire series make their debut. Kirin and Susanoo. Can't get much better than that.
Naruto versus Pain. Okay, I can respect this.
You know what? I know some people are gonna disagree with this choice.
Fuck you!
I like this fight. It's great.
Hey, John
When
Tron.
Naruto shows up, he's one pain, he just goes like he's broken.
This is a
Then
pretty
Prey to
cool
Path is
fight.
like,
I'm not
gonna
gonna
steal
lie.
your chakra. Then he gets turned into a frog, and then all the other paths of pain are like, what is going on? It's just like, you can't go too much sage energy. Naruto versus Pain is my favorite, and I know you may disagree, but
My pain is still far greater than yours!
Okay, let's pause. Okay. So yeah, that was a fun little video. And look, he had Rock Lee versus Gaara, which a lot of people have as their favorite fights. Personally, I know he said he was kind of cheating. Although, you know what, I'll allow it. It's fine. Although personally, when it comes to Naruto versus Pain, and then you had Sasuke versus Itachi, the thing about these two fights is that it feels like you're watching the ending of big character arcs between these two. You had Sasuke, who since his introduction has since his introduction with the Team 7 thing, since then we've known about his goal of wanting revenge against Hitachi, and this is the fight where it finally happens. And of course, later on, he ends up finding out the truth, and then it leads to something else. And then with Naruto versus Pain, it has where is it? And then Naruto versus Pain. After this fight, and then after his fight with Nagato, you see him being embraced by the village, finally being accepted. It just feels like these character arcs that were started all the way from the beginning have finally concluded, and it just feels so satisfying. Which is kind of one of the reasons why later on in the story it feels a little when it comes to Naruto and Sasuke, because it feels like Kishimoto already did everything he already did everything he wanted to do with these characters. Now the only thing that was left is this whole conflict between them. Although personally, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't hate how it was handled, but at the same time, I'm not saying that I like it. It's okay. I just feel like it could have been done better. But anyway, that's just me. So personally, I would put the Sasuke versus Itachi above the Naruto versus Pain. Even though I like both fights, I can understand why he had them in his top two. Although if you were to ask anyone, I guarantee you most people would tell you that Gaara versus Rock Lee is number one. And you know what? That is absolutely fine. It's your list, and like I said, let me know your list in the comment section down below. Remember to like the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't, click the bell for notifications, and I hope to see you for the next reaction. Bye for now.